You are 22 years old. You have exactly $1,140 in your checking account. And right here, right now, is exactly where your story splits into two possible futures. Let's look at path A, the builder. You are 22. Your very first paycheck clears. After taxes, it is $1,847. The job is an entry-level grind. The office smells like stale coffee and cheap printer ink. But you have a plan. On a Sunday night, you open a retirement account. The balance is zero. You put in $200. It feels like nothing, but you do it anyway. More importantly, you set up an automatic transfer. $200, moving automatically the day after you get paid. You never even see the money leave. That is exactly the point. You build a simple spreadsheet: income, fixed costs, and fun money. The numbers are tight. You eat dinner at home 6 nights a week, not because you have iron discipline, but because the math demands it. You rent a room in a shared apartment for $740 a month. The kitchen is tiny. You don't care. By the end of your first year, you have $2,400 invested for retirement. You also have almost $2,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account earning real interest. Building an emergency fund was your top priority, and you made it happen. Now let's look at path B, the spender. You are also 22. Your first paycheck is the exact same, $1,847. Same city, same type of job. You immediately buy a car on a 6-year loan. The payment is $387 a month, plus almost $200 for insurance. You tell yourself you need the car, and you do, but you didn't need the luxury trim package. You chose it anyway. You rent your own one-bedroom apartment for $980 a month because having your own space matters to you. You eat out 4 nights a week, a bar tab on Friday, dinner on Saturday, and a Sunday brunch that costs $41 and kills 2 hours. You do open a savings account. You deposit $100. 3 weeks later, you transfer $80 back to your checking account to buy a concert ticket. By the end of your first year, you have just $220 in savings. Worse, you have over $1,300 in credit card debt, carrying a massive 25% interest rate. The minimum payment is $38. You pay exactly the minimum. Let's jump forward. You are now between 23 and 24. Back to path A, the builder. You get a raise of $2,100 a year. You don't upgrade your lifestyle, you upgrade your investments. You bump your automatic retirement contribution up to $350 a month. Your savings account gets another $150 automatically. You take the time to learn just one core concept about investing: fees matter. So you move your money into a total market index fund with virtually zero fees. By 24, you have nearly $10,000 invested. When the market dips and you watch your balance fall to $7,000, you don't panic. You actually buy more. Not because you are brave, but because you understand what you own. You finally hit your emergency fund goal of $4,500, 3 full months of expenses, fully covered. You stop adding to it. Every extra dollar now flows directly into building wealth. Path B, the spender, at 23 to 24, you get the exact same raise, but instead of investing it, you upgrade your apartment. Your new rent is over $1,200. The building has a gym. You use it 7 times the first month, twice the second month, and 0 times the third. You finance a $1,400 couch on a buy now, pay later plan, 0 interest for 12 months. You completely forget when the 12 months end, and the sky-high interest kicks in retroactively. That's how those traps work. You didn't read the fine print. Your credit card balance explodes from $1,300 to $2,800. You open a second card just to get the reward points, spending $4,000 you don't have just to earn a sign-up bonus. By 24, you have over $4,000 in toxic consumer debt, a car loan of $19,000, and just $400 in savings. You still have no emergency fund. You promise yourself you'll start one next month. You don't. Look at the gap at age 24. The builder has nearly $10,000 invested, zero bad debt, and a positive net worth of $14,000. The spender has maxed out cards, a heavy car loan, and a net worth of negative $22,000. The distance between these two exact same people is already $37,000. They went to the same schools, they have the same jobs. The entire difference comes down to $187 a month redirected to investments and a handful of bad decisions avoided. Ages 25 to 27. The builder negotiates their rent down. When their company offers a 401k match, they take full advantage of it. They contribute exactly what is needed to get the match, treating it like free money, because it is. Their total monthly investment leaps to $680. At 26, the builder finds a cheap duplex 3 hours away. They drive out, inspect it, run the numbers, and spend 6 months preparing their credit. At 27, they buy it. They put down $21,000 they aggressively saved without ever touching their retirement accounts. The mortgage is low, and the rent from the 2 units completely covers it. After all expenses, the builder is pocketing over $600 a month in pure cash flow. It takes work, answering calls, fixing leaks, but the math is bulletproof. The spender, meanwhile, is making $52,000 a year, but their lifestyle is growing way faster than their income. They take a trip to Cancun and put $2,000 on a credit card that is already maxed out. When they get a promotion to $58,000, they celebrate with an expensive dinner, putting it on the rewards card to earn points. It feels like a smart move. It isn't. When their car loan finally ends, instead of keeping the paid-off car, they immediately lease a brand new one for over $400 a month. They don't read the early termination clause. By 27, the spender is drowning in nearly $7,000 of credit card debt across 3 different cards. Between debt payments and useless subscriptions, they are burning over $1,300 a month before they even pay rent. They finally start a 401k, but only put in 2%, missing out on over $1,000 of free employer money every single year. Ages 28 through 30. The builder's real estate is working. It's not perfect, things break, tenants pay late, but the emergency repair fund covers it. Rent goes up, cash flow increases. By 28, the builder has nearly $70,000 invested in the stock market. The magic of compounding is quietly doing its job. The numbers just grow every time they look. At 29, they land a new job making $74,000. They immediately double their retirement contributions. Their lifestyle stays exactly the same apartment, same groceries. Using the cash flow from the first duplex, they buy a second property, a triplex. By 30, the builder has 2 properties bringing in nearly $1,500 a month in pure profit. The spender, at 28, feels fine, but not wealthy. They move in with a partner, layering 2 bad spending habits on top of each other. When the relationship ends a year later, the spender is stuck with a massive rent bill they have to cover alone. The math breaks. They have over $9,000 in credit card debt and 0 savings. When an emergency hits, they are forced to drain their retirement account, getting slammed with taxes and a brutal 10% penalty. By age 30, the spender refuses to look at their bank accounts. They know it's bad, and looking won't magically fix it. The midpoint gap at age 30 is staggering. The builder has massive investments, real estate cash flow, and a net worth of $134,000. The spender has a gutted retirement account, crushing credit card debt, a leased car, and a net worth barely scraping $14,000. The distance between them is now over $148,000. And here's the craziest part. At an average market return, the builder's money will naturally grow to over $500,000 in 20 years, even if they never invest another dime. Meanwhile, the spender is paying money every single month just to stay completely broke. They are the same age, they made the exact same income for 8 straight years, but one of them automated their savings at 22 and simply repeated the process. No heroics, just consistency. Let's look at ages 31 to 35. The builder gets a raise to $82,000. They completely max out their retirement accounts. By 33, they buy a third property. By 35, the builder has nearly $300,000 invested in the stock market and over $100,000 in real estate equity. Their net worth shatters $400,000. They don't brag, they don't show off. When a coworker asks for advice, the builder tells them the boring truth. Buy a low-cost index fund and automate it before you even see the paycheck. The spender, at 31, tries to fix things by taking out a personal loan to pay off their credit cards. It feels like a massive relief. The cards are finally at zero, but they don't cut up the cards. Within 2 years, the balances are completely maxed out again. They upgrade to a fancy apartment in a walkable neighborhood, adding hundreds of dollars to their monthly expenses. When a medical emergency hits, they don't have the cash, so it goes straight onto a credit card at 23% interest. By 35, the spender has no real estate, no investments outside a basic 401k, and a pile of toxic debt. They aren't in total crisis, they are functional. They go to work, pay the minimums, and wait for the next month to start. Nothing moves, nothing grows. Ages 36 to 40. The builder sells their first property for a massive profit and legally shields it from taxes by rolling the money directly into a 4-unit apartment building. They are making nearly $3,000 a month in totally passive real estate income. As they approach 40, their combined net worth crosses nearly $700,000. They still drive a reliable used car. They hire a professional financial planner who saves them nearly $9,000 a year in taxes. The spender pays off their personal loan and immediately celebrates by putting a $5,000 trip to Italy on a credit card. Then the worst happens. Their company announces layoffs. With barely any savings, the spender burns through their tiny severance check and has to survive on credit cards. They eventually find a new job, but it pays less. By age 40, the spender is completely exhausted. They work incredibly hard, the life is real, the stress is real, but their financial safety net is razor thin. Let's look at the final results at age 40. The builder wakes up on a random Tuesday and checks their accounts. Over $500,000 in the stock market, over $300,000 in retirement, $250,000 in real estate equity. Their total net worth over $1,068,000. Their assets generate nearly $3,000 every single month while they sleep. When an aging parent gets sick, the builder covers the $3,000 monthly care bill effortlessly. They don't stress about it, it's just a line item in their budget. The builder has absolute freedom. They run the numbers and realize they can comfortably quit their job in 4 years. They don't have to work, they get to choose. The spender at age 40 has a net worth of less than $60,000, almost all of it trapped in a retirement account they can't touch for 20 years. They have $2,000 in checking. Their rent goes up every year. They can't buy a house because they never built the discipline required to save a down payment. They are still paying the minimums on their credit cards, a debt that will take them 11 years to clear. The spender is not lazy. They are not foolish. They went to work every single day, paid their bills, and lived their life. But the system they built at 22 was designed for spending, not building. And systems compound, both good ones and bad ones. That is the unavoidable truth of money. At age 40, the builder is a millionaire with endless options. The spender has zero passive income, a demanding job they can't leave, and zero room for error. The financial distance between these two people is now over $1 million. 18 years ago, they held the exact same paycheck. They sat at the same kind of desk, drinking from the same kind of coffee mug. One of them decided to redirect $187 before the weekend even started. The other didn't. The Tuesday after that decision still arrived. It always does, for both of them.